And now the Hansons and Hiatus podcast with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. It is episode 106 of the Hansons on Hiatus podcast. I am your host, Nate, and this is my wife, Alexis.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
And don't forget to support the podcast at buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can buy us some virtual beers.
And we will happily drink them.
And it is a Friday, so I often do.
Sometimes on Fridays.
Sometimes. Also, hansonsonhiatus.com. You can find all our links there to the podcast if you'd like to share them with your friends and family. And you can be a monthly fucky supporter. You can be a little fucky for 99. Was it 99 cents? No, $1. Now it's $1.
Now it's a
yeah,
buck.
yeah, that's that inflation. You can be a medium fucky for $5 a month, or you can be a big old fucky for $10 a month.
We love all our fuckies.
Yeah, so we wanted to thank some of our fuckies as usual. We got Manny, Spandex Thor, Brian P, Antonio, Chrissy, Christina, and everybody else. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
And we now have some new merch up at the merch store. By popular demand. Was it Cheers Fuckers St. Patrick's Day shirt that I wore?
Yeah, everyone loved your shirt that you had on, and I didn't even think to make that one.
Yeah, so I know it is past the holiday, but if you want to jump on it and get it for next year, I believe it's on sale.
Yeah.
Right? Is it still on sale?
Right
okay,
now
yeah.
it's on sale. I think it should
It's like
still
20-30% off or
be.
something.
Yeah,
So
maybe you want to, get ready for next year, or you have an Irish buddy you want to buy it for. You never know.
I mean, the shirt I have is from 2020, and
Yeah.
I wear it once a year, and it's on St. Patrick's Day.
It's a
every
good one. It's a quality shirt.
year. Yeah, so you can do that and just wear it next year then.
Yep. We also have some other design like Easter
Yes.
and 420 and all sorts of
Yeah,
stuff.
we got some
going.
holidays coming up. Yeah, we got some Easter, some eggs and Peeps, funny shirts,
Yes.
humor tees.
Humor tees.
And they're all at the merch shop at hansonsonhiatus.com.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can find everything right there. So, and as usual, like, follow, share, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, YouTube Music at Hansons on Hiatus.
We be there.
We be there. All right. Well, over this past weekend, I don't understand these moons. What was it?
moons?
Was it a pink moon?
I think there was like a full moon and then a pink moon and then some other moon.
I don't get the moon. Like there's what is it? There's a strawberry moon and a
Yeah.
blue moon and a blood moon and a I don't know.
Just different colors, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know
but
why.
they don't look like those colors though.
Yeah.
like-
or maybe we can't see them with the naked eye. You need like a telescope.
Maybe, but they're like, oh, it's a strawberry moon or it's a blood moon, and it's like barely a tint of pink or something. You know,
Yeah.
it's like so. Yeah, the full moon this weekend or this, I guess, past weekend,
Mhm.
and that's the other thing about the moons. It's always the rarest one. This isn't going to happen for 4,000 years again. It's going to be
Yes.
the last one, and then it happens like next month.
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't get it, but
It was big. It was a full moon. It was gorgeous.
yeah, it definitely looked cool, but it never really does it justice. I need to get like a telescope.
Telescope.
Yeah, because the phone does. Our phones, the Samsungs do pretty well, but but it just still never does it justice. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, then you see everybody on your news feed, everyone's crappy picture of the moon.
Yeah.
Some were good. Some were
Yeah,
bad.
they're like, oh, there's another, but it's like it looks like amazing in real life, and you take a picture of it, and it's just this like light
Yeah.
blob of nothingness. So
Eh.
yeah, no, but I did want to bring up, sometimes we talk about more day-to-day life stuff here in Mexico, not just the stories of the things that we've been doing.
Yeah.
And some people have asked us about residency and how to get residency and, the different ways to do it. And we've talked about it in the past. We do have our 4-year temporary residency, which we can apply in December this year, and then we get our permanent. So then
So
we're
soon.
residents for life.
I'm kind of nervous, but we'll
Why?
see. Just everything going on, I don't
Oh,
want
yeah.
them to go, oh, you've been living here or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but we're legal, so it's
True.
not like, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess anything can happen, obviously.
I don't
But
know.
but so there in the past there's been 2 different processes. So typically the standard way to get residency, and obviously there's a bunch of different ways. If you marry a Mexican citizen or you have a child with them, or those are like kind of a little bit different. Or if you have a family member that is from here, like your grandmother's Mexican or
Right.
something, I think you can.
I don't think we qualify for any
No,
of this.
definitely not. But the kind of the standard way to get residency and the difference between residency and citizenship are basically the same thing, but citizenship you can vote in elections, and there's a couple different things, but residency is basically like having your green card or whatever. So you have all the same rights and rules and everything that you do as a citizen, just can't vote.
Gotcha.
But the standard way to do it is you start at the consulate in the United States, the Mexican consulate. You go there. You have to prove financial, showing that you're financially solvent. You can take care of yourself. You have a job. You have income coming in, and it's a certain amount of money. And then once you do that paperwork, they send it over to Mexico. Then you have, I think, it's either 30 or 60 days to come into Mexico from whatever, not just the United States, whatever country you're in.
Yeah.
And then you can then you finish your paperwork here at immigrant or INM or INE. Yeah, so that's how you would normally do it. Over COVID, they came out with this naturalization program, and it was always said to be temporary. And what it was basically for people that, during COVID, a lot of people got stuck different places.
Yeah.
Digital nomads were still a thing then, or people traveling or living abroad for work reasons or whatever. So there was a lot of people that couldn't go home to their home country to start the process to become a resident.
Right.
So they made this special program that if you had been in Mexico, I think it was like 2 or 3 times before 2020, you're currently living in Mexico, you were on a tourist visa, which is 180 days. You had to wait till the 180 days till it expired, so you were technically illegal at that time.
Yeah.
And then the government is telling you to do this. Let it expire. Then you can apply for this regularization program. So you basically had to kind of do the same thing. You had to prove financials, but you just had to prove you had a job, a certain amount of income. You'd been living here for, at least 180 days, and then had visited the country at least 2 or 3 times before 2020.
Right. Which was amazing.
Yeah. So that's what we ended up doing because at first we thought we were going to bounce around, go from here to different countries. And then once we decided we were staying in Mexico, we're like, okay, we want to be, not tourists. We want to be legal residents. So we went with this process because even though at the time we could go back to the United States, it was just easier than, buying another flight to go home to apply paperwork to then come back here again.
Right. If we could do it here, why not?
Yeah, so it didn't make any sense. So they've actually kept this program going for the last 3 years. I don't even know why. Probably because it's, extra money in the government's pocket, you know. But
we're backlogged.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So then, and then in, let's say, 2022, you had to prove that you had been to the country 3 or 4 times or 2 or 3 times before that, things, of that sort. So they've always said this program could potentially end at some point. But then in my head, I'm like, well, they're making money because you got to pay the taxes and you got to pay the lawyer fees and stuff like that. So the country's making money off of this program.
Right.
So I'm thinking, okay, well, they're never going to get rid of this thing because, hey, it's extra money in the government's pocket.
Yep.
I can't say if the recent events, the geopolitical events that have been going on has changed anything, but they just ended this program.
Yeah.
So they basically now have said, you can only apply for this program if you lived in the country since 2021 without leaving.
Yeah.
So you've been illegal for 3 or 4 years, basically.
Wow. They're just trying to flush all those people out.
Yeah. Well, so now the new people can't do this program, which is, fine. Right. I don't think it should have continued to go on because it was a COVID program.
Right.
But I think it's kind of cool that they've made, even though they've changed it a little bit, they've made it so if you were here illegally, which you shouldn't have been,
right.
They give you a path to residency. Mm-hmm. And, and I don't want to get into politics stuff of the U.S. or whatever, but I think that's what they should do for the Mexican citizens living, or, Mexican people living in the United States, maybe not legally, right. But if they can prove that they're working, a job, adding to the economy, mm-hmm. They're not a criminal or anything like that. That's what we need to do is take these people that are doing jobs that, that we need done in the United States, making it easier for them to become a resident or get their green card or whatever, rather than just rounding up and kicking them out. I mean, right. They broke the law, but in most countries, if you overstay your visa, you just have to pay a fine and then you have to leave. Yeah. In the United States, if you overstay your 180-day visa, you have to, and then in Mexico, going back to the United States, you have to pay, I think it's 800 pesos, which is $40.
Yeah.
And then you might have some issues coming back in the future or something, but But yeah, I just think, this program has ended. I'm glad that we were able to take advantage of it because, we are working and adding to the economy and, we're not criminals or anything like that. I think it should be the same for every country. It's unfortunate that people felt like they had to do these things illegally and get into, different countries. But if they're a good person and adding and working and, doing all the right things, make it so they can be legal. And so it's not, it's not a big thing.
Right.
So,
no, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
so-
Make it, not to make it like easier, but don't make it so.
Well, it's
ridiculous.
extremely hard to get residency and a citizenship in the United States. People think
Yeah.
it's easy. It is not.
No,
There's
it's
a
not
lot.
easy.
It takes some people years, even once they get a visa or whatever to get in the United States, to become a citizen or whatever. And it's not easy. Like we've talked about before, we have friends that are married to some American friends and they can't go to the United States just because the country that they were born in.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with them personally. It's just like, oh, you're from Honduras. Oh, sorry, you're from a country where there's been a lot of migrants. Like, that's not fair. It should be on a case-by-case basis.
It's especially not fair, like, if you haven't lived in that country for years. I'm from there, but I don't live there anymore. You can prove that you live, like our friends that live here, and they can't go to the States with their significant other.
Yeah.
It's just...
But anyway, so if you are looking to move to Mexico and you want to get residency and build a life here, just letting everybody know you got to start basically in the United States again, or whatever country you're living in. You got to start at the Mexican consulate in your home country. Right. So
and we've had friends that have done that too.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's fine.
normally more established people, like our parents' age. A lot more people that are maybe retirees or something that have a big nest egg that can show that they have, a steady income and retirement and stuff like that. So they're not, whatever. So, so just letting you know, if you are thinking about that, if you want more information, let us know.
Yeah,
shoot us a message.
We've been getting a lot of messages lately. How do I move to Mexico? How do I do what you did? Anybody can do this. You just got to have a plan.
Yeah.
Just
and
research
and then you get like with residency, you get a lot of cool discount. I get, the locals prices at the hospital and stuff, like when I hurt my hands.
Yeah, that was, thank God.
The ferry tickets over to Cozumel or, whatever. A lot of restaurants do locals prices, like, 10% discount or something like that. So it's helpful. And then like a lot of the eco parks that we go to, like Xcaret, we have the year pass, but you can get like just a day pass. It's normally like $130, but you can get it for half off. So
That's
it's,
great.
165 or whatever. So, I mean, sorry, 65.
Oh, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It went up.
Yeah.
I'm going to charge you more.
But this weekend we visited Xcaret and brought my parents, and we always bring some snacks in, some meats and cheeses and stuff. And
you get hungry when you're swimming and in the sun and all that.
Yeah, but we forgot a plate, so we invented the charcuterie board.
Charcuterie.
And so we just put the meats and cheeses on top of this bag we had our water shoes in.
Yep.
So
It worked out perfect.
Yeah.
It was a little weird and gross, but it worked out good.
But we saw a lot of weird things this weekend at Xcaret. We saw a warthog hanging out with a lizard.
They were buddies, like Timon and Pumbaa.
Yep. We saw a coati with giant balls. I didn't realize how big these testicles were on these guys.
I mean, I guess they're not getting neutered or spayed,
That's
so
true.
that makes sense.
That's true. I gave a giant bird a massage.
Oh, God. I'm so thankful he didn't snap at you or bite you. He's a big guy.
Oh, yeah. And we saw this monkey that was doing kind of like what I do at a Mexican restaurant when I'm trying to get a hold of the waiter. Amigo, check please, check please.
Exactly. Like, he was so cute.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, but dude, I love the monkeys there. They're hilarious. Like they sit on they put like their hands on their cheeks and like yawn
They
and
have
stuff.
such
They're
personalities.
just little people.
Yeah.
They're little hairy people.
And then we kind of figured out that they have their own little area and there's a little moat around it. But we saw them on the other sside of the park. They're just running around.
I think they just go off during the day and fucking swing through the trees and then they come back there at night.
They do. That's their little house.
Yeah. But it was a good day there. Yeah. Like, they have these warthogs there. And it's funny because you can smell the warthogs.
Oh, yeah.
Like they have this stink. And I didn't realize, I mean, they talk about it in Lion King, right? How much, is it Puma or Timon?
Pumbaa. Pumbaa's the stinky one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's their, well, they were explaining to us that it's their smell to warn people like, hey, I'm here, stay away from me,
Oh,
and their mates.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought that might be it as well. But yeah, I thought it was to let them know where their mate is or whatever, because they rub their little snoot on, or maybe it's their butt.
They like rub on each other. So like the guy's like,
this is my bitch.
Yeah, this is my lady. I remember that time we went to those, I don't even remember where we were, in some cenote, but they had like our tour guide we were walking through, and he recognized the smell and was like, be careful, there's warthogs here, we need to stay away from them. So he knew just from that smell as we got closer, like, oh shit, they're over here.
And we can recognize it now too.
Yeah,
you smell them.
It's a very distinct smell. It's not like trash, like stinky, that kind of smell. It's like very pungent oil odor. You're just like, whoa, what is that?
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a great day. Like I said, took our parents there. We had a really good buffet as usual.
I love their buffet. So many meats. Yummy.
Yeah.
Yummy meats.
Yummy meats.
Yummy meats. I did do that. I went,
oh, yeah.
delicious.
Yeah. What else did we? Oh, so, and then the next day, that was like, what was that, Friday or Saturday? Yeah, I think it was Friday.
I don't know. Friday?
Yeah.
We'll say Friday.
Yeah, we'll say it was Friday.
Yeah.
Well, then the next day, I had some friends in town actually they were in Cancun with some of their, a couple families with their kids. It's so weird that our friends have kids now.
I know. So, especially some of them. I'm just like, oh, you do have a kid.
Yeah, and they're like
I forgot.
And they're like 14. I'm
Yeah.
like, how did your kids get so old?
That's so weird.
But yeah, they so we had some friends in Cancun, and they said, hey, we're going on a catamaran on Sunday.
Yeah.
Do you want to come with? And I begged and pleaded to try to get you to come on a free fucking catamaran. They said we just had to pay the dock fee. It was like $20. But it was like one of those all you can drink catamaran things.
Yeah.
And you said no.
We've been doing a lot of eating and drinking. I didn't feel like getting on a boat and eating and drinking more.
Free is free in my
True.
book.
But I said, you go have fun.
But I was worried because that day before on Saturday, all the ports were closed because the ocean was super rough.
So rough. Even at Xcaret, we couldn't swim in the little lagoons that face the ocean because it was just
like
coming in. Oh my God, it was so crazy.
So they had canceled it that day and then rescheduled it for the next day. Well, Cancun is like an hour from us, or at least this port is in Cancun. So I was afraid to take the bus up or a taxi. I was taking the bus because the taxi is like $50.
Yeah.
But the bus is like 10. No, it's not even that. It's like $7.
Oh,
yeah. I think
great.
it's like 100. No, yeah, $6-7. It's like 110 pesos.
Oh, nice.
So I was planning on doing that. I didn't want to get on the bus and ride it all the way up to fucking Cancun and have them cancel it again. So I was like kind of hesitant. And the time I had to be there at 9:30 in the morning, but the bus left at like 8 or something. And I'm hoping they would say something before then. And so I woke up that morning. I was like, all right, I'm fucking going. Pack up all my shit. I messaged my buddy. I was like, hey, he was like, is it still on? I'm, heading to the bus station, riding my little bike.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, just confirmed, still on, we're leaving the resort at 8:30 a.m. For the 9:30 ferry or catamaran departure.
Nice.
So I get on my little bike and, I'm riding over there about halfway to the bus station, maybe a little bit more. I was a couple blocks away. And I pull my phone out of my pocket while I'm riding my bike, and I was going to message him something, and I see the message, and it says, just got canceled. It's like, fuck. But thank God I was not on the bus, because that would have sucked to find out on the bus, then I have an hour ride up and an hour ride back. So
that would have really sucked.
Yeah.
I was so shocked to see you back, because I was getting ready to have my girly day. I had my girly music going, my plants out. I was going to repot some of them. And then you come busting back in like it got canceled. I'm like, well, there goes my girly day.
So we decided to then pivot. And it was our friend Marlos's. Pivot. It was her birthday. It was on Tuesday, but we were going to celebrate it with her on Sunday. Yeah. So we went to this brunch at a place. It's like, I think, is it like a British pub kind of vibe? So we've been there twice, and the owner was not very nice to us both times.
Nope.
Like just little kind of thing. Like one time, I think we had a reservation for like 8 to watch one of the NFL games. We were there, and then I guess 2 or 3 people showed up that were like a friend, like one of our friends in our group of 8, had invited other people, and they
Right.
came. They weren't sitting down or anything, but they had ordered a beer and they were just standing there. And he
Yeah.
kind of yelled at us about that, and I was like,
He
okay,
yelled at us
sorry.
because we were like gonna order. We were asking about food, and he got snippy about it and was like, "Are all you ordering food? You're gonna overload my kitchen." I'm like, number one, that's not my fucking problem.
Yeah.
And I brought you more people to spend money here.
Yeah, I was
Who
gonna say
cares if
that's
they
not
wanna
your
eat?
problem either, because that's a good thing. You're
Yeah,
like, oh,
don't you want to make money?
Yeah.
But I guess not.
Yeah, I get it. He doesn't want it to like seem like it's taking too long or whatever.
Sure.
And then another time we went up there, and we didn't have a reservation, and he
Yeah.
was like kind of rude to us, and he's like, "Yeah, do you see any open tables here?"
Yeah.
Of course. Like, you needed a reservation. Like, he was just kind of condescending to us.
Doesn't have that customer service.
Yeah, he's I think he's an Aussie or something.
I don't know. I don't know where he's
I'm
from.
pretty sure he is.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so but anyway, so we go this time, and it's brunch.
Mhm.
Super nice.
Really
Totally.
nice.
This was my last chance for him,
Yeah.
and totally changed my mind. Guy was super friendly. What do you need? Oh, like, we tried to make a reservation outside. He called me back because I had messaged him, and he wasn't answering. He's like, "I'm so sorry." Blah blah blah. So maybe some other people complained and said, "Hey, you got customer service needs to
Gotta
step it
watch
up."
your tude.
Yeah,
Tone it down.
But it was a great deal. It was like 500 pesos, like $25. You got like a breakfast entree. Like, what'd you get like that?
I had a brekkie sandwich. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
So I don't even know what was on it, but it was delicious.
Yeah, it was super
all,
good.
all the girls got it, and we were all so happy.
And then it was unlimited cocktails for 90 minutes. And it had
Wow.
mimosas, beer on draft, and then a couple Bloody Mary, and then a couple drinks I had never heard of. A Bloody Maria,
Yeah, they have
which
those here.
maybe everybody else knows what these are, but I'm not a big liquor drinker, so I don't really know. I'm a beer guy, obviously. But a Bloody Maria, I guess, is a Bloody Mary with tequila instead of vodka.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maria.
And then the what was it? Oh, Greyhound.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that.
And that was, what was that? Was it?
Vodka.
Oh, it was a screw. Oh, they had screwdrivers on there too. But it was
Screwdrivers
a
are good.
screwdriver with grapefruit
Grapefruit.
juice
Yeah.
instead. And then they also had, what was the other one? Crusty Dog or something like that.
Salty
Dog.
Salty dog.
Yeah,
crusty
crusty dog sounds terrible.
You want a crusty dog?
Yeah, give her the old crusty
Ugh.
dog.
When
Ugh.
you start drinking, it's a salty dog. When you're done drinking, it's a crusty
Yeah,
dog.
it's- ugh. I don't like the word crusty.
I don't either.
It just, you know what it reminds me of? Remember, when like you get sick and you've had like a sinus infection or whatever, and then your nose is drying out,
Yeah.
and you get those like crusty bugs like around the inside of your nose. That's a crusty dog to me.
I think of crusties like the corner of your eye.
Oh,
I
yeah, the
remember
little-
being in like middle school or something. There would always be some boy with like crusties all over. Like, did your mom not wash your face
Yeah.
this morning, or did you not wash your face?
Right.
Ugh.
What did your mom ever call them sleepies?
Sleepies. Yeah.
Yeah.
We call them sleepies.
Yeah, yeah.
Get
So
the
yeah,
sleepies out of your eye.
so I guess a salty dog. What was that? It was
I don't even remember.
the Greyhound with something on it.
Oh.
Was it just like with salt around the rim or something? Or tahini?
Salt or
Yeah.
tahini or something.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Salty dog, Greyhound dog. Yeah, gotcha.
Ah, we got it now.
But we were there to watch
A week later.
Yeah, like that's right there, Merc.
We get it.
But yeah, we were there to watch. It was some cup. It was some football or soccer.
Yeah.
And it was
Football.
football. And it was it Liverpool. What was the other team?
And I forget the guys.
And the Mighty Ducks.
Yes. Well, it was like who were the guys yelling there? I don't even remember.
Yeah, but it was Newcastle.
Newcastle. That I was like, yeah, the all those Newcastle guys were there.
Oh yeah,
Marlos,
what do they call them? Like
kinda-
Toonies?
Toonies.
Or
That's what
Toonie? It was Toonie something. I can't remember. I don't know. I don't know a lot about European
Toonie Noonie.
football.
I don't know.
But it was funny. There was a group of guys that we started playing pool. It was me and 4 ladies playing pool on a
Yep.
Sunday morning.
All the guys bailed. You were with the ladies
Yeah.
Sunday.
But we met a guy there from Minnesota. He was one of the dudes that were there to watch the game.
Yeah.
And then he was with another guy from Ireland, and maybe 2 from England or something like that.
They were from all over.
They were from all over the place. And we started talking to him. And he's like, "Oh, we don't know each other. We were just walking to get a taxi, and we found out we were going to the same place and said, we might as well do this together." And they were opposing teams and stuff. And so they went and all just watched the football match together, even though they didn't know each other at all.
Hilarious. Because
Yeah.
they all seemed like really good friends.
Yeah.
And the guy that said he had like some European accent. He's talking to us. He's like, "Oh no, I'm from Minnesota," and we're all like, "You're not from Minnesota.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're from."
But he
you're not."
was.
Yeah. but he didn't sound like it.
Yeah, I didn't really get an accent from. I mean, there's the Minnesota accent, Minnesota.
He didn't have that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't have one of
Yeah,
those.
even Marlos, who's from Holland, she thought he was from England as well.
Yeah,
so.
he seemed like he
Very
had a different accent.
Yeah.
Not from the Midwest.
Yeah. So this is a long weekend because we had that going on,
Yeah.
and then on Monday was St. Patrick's Day, St. Patty's Day.
Because they couldn't move it to the weekend.
Right.
Rude.
Is it always on Mondays, or is it just whatever day it falls
Always
on?
on the 17th. Yeah, whatever
Right.
day.
So whatever day it falls
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah, we went to, well, first we went to Chela de Playa and we got a green beer.
Yeah.
And
Wasn't it sorry, real quick, a few years ago, remember when it was like St. Patrick's Day was on a Saturday, Cinco de Mayo was on a Saturday. It was like that
It was
a couple years ago.
every
Everything
drinking
was
holiday.
on the weekend.
Yeah, it was like New Year's, Christmas
yeah.
and something else.
Yeah,
it was like
all of them.
all on Saturday. It was
I
like,
went that year.
That was
back.
our year.
Yeah.
I think it was 2022, 2023 maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were the days.
Those were the days.
But yeah, so we got a green beer, and then we went over to one of our favorite beer bars, Club de la Cerveza, and
Club.
yeah, and they're one of the only places that have Guinness in town.
Yeah.
Nobody has Guinness on tap.
Which makes sense here. There's not a lot of Guinness drinkers, but get your Guinness for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
We went other places. They're like, no Guinness. Get some fucking Guinness.
Yeah. Well, there's one Irish bar in town
Oh.
called McCarthy's, and it's not Irish. They don't have Irish food.
Nope.
They don't play Irish music,
Nope.
and they don't have Irish beer. It's like
Double nope.
it's like you ain't an Irish bar. Your name is Irish, and you have green logo, but nothing Irish about you.
Nothing.
You got hamburgers and wings.
And I think it's been that way since we moved here.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen anything Irish except their logo.
They have that stuff like on their menu, but they've never had it.
No.
Like I think they had Guinness on their menu, but it's never been there.
Nope.
So I don't know.
Never been.
So yeah, we go to the Club de la Cerveza. We get a Guinness there,
Mm-hmm.
and we're with like my parents and then two of our friends, Shelly and Stephanie, and me and Shelly do an Irish car bomb.
yeah. I was proud of you guys.
Yeah. And well, I've done it, but Shelly and I have been doing Irish car bombs in the last few months recently.
Yeah,
right?
you did her first Irish car bomb with her a few months ago. So
That's
this
true.
she was like, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I know what to do now.
But there's this new trend in the beer world. Maybe it's not new. It's new to me. But it's called splitting the G.
Oh,
And
is
what
this
you-
a TikTok thing?
Maybe, I don't know. I've only seen it in like my beer groups, but it's they pour you a glass of Guinness, and it has the head on it and everything. And then where it says Guinness on the logo of the glass, you try to take one sip and make the bottom of the foam top of the beer,
Yeah.
that line go right through the middle of the G of Guinness.
Gotcha.
So it's called splitting the G.
I like that, split the G.
Yeah, I did not do it. I mean, like I did it, but I didn't make it. I drank too much, so I like underlined the G.
Your gulp was too big.
Yeah,
That's okay.
it was a G string. But you guys tried to do it too. Well, you guys you did the Guinness, right?
We didn't. I had a Guinness, but we didn't have the Guinness glass.
Yeah, you had
we
a-
had a BrewDog glass, which was even taller. So we're making up our own line where to drink
splitting
to.
the dog.
Yeah, we're like to the bottom of the puppy. I don't know.
Yeah. So that was fun, and then we went over to Freaky Tiki. We tried to get what did we try? Oh, we were gonna eat there, but they were serving Irish stew, and they're like, we're not opening the kitchen until the stew is gone.
Right.
So it was like none of us wanted stew at that point.
I
so-
know. I really wanted some when I found out that they had stew, but then once we got there and we were drinking Guinness all day, I was like, I don't
Yeah.
know if beef stew is the best thing for me to eat right now.
Yeah, but they gave us free green shots
Yes.
of tequila,
Oh,
green
yes.
tequila shots.
Oh, my
I thought
gosh.
it was gonna be that fruity, like the blue one that we got.
Yeah.
Like
a sweet kind
Yeah,
of
like I
shot.
thought it was gonna be sweet because no, that was straight fucking tequila.
You guys all took it, and I always make the mistake. I sniffed it a little bit and was like, oh, it's fucking tequila. And I know I'm the only person in Mexico that doesn't like tequila really, but I took half of it and was like, I couldn't do it. And then you took the other half.
Yeah, and then we had actually we didn't all have them, but our friend Charlotte and her friends and her husband,
Yep.
husband Jonathan, and I was like, did they? Yeah,
Question
they just got. I forgot they just got married.
Yeah.
And then their two friends from California, they came. And she got a green margarita,
Yeah.
like a frozen margarita.
That looked great.
Yeah, I
It
was
was like neon green.
Yeah, we should have got that. But I was thinking, so she's Irish. She ain't like
No.
Irish heritage. She is from Ireland.
Ireland. Yes.
Red hair, accent, everything.
Yep.
I forgot to ask her, but do you think she gets was how we were celebrating St. Patrick's Day, is that offensive to her, do you think?
No.
I mean, not offensive, but is she like, kind of like Cinco de Mayo here? people here aren't offended by Cinco de Mayo,
Yeah.
but they're like, dude, nobody celebrates that here. You're just using it to drink in the United States. Like it's actually celebrating the Battle of Puebla in
Yeah.
Puebla is the only place they celebrate it, and that's not what they do. So do you think that's what it's like?
The way because we kind of asked
Did
her
you?
about that, and she was like, no, I think St. Patrick's Day is one of those holidays that it's celebrated all over the world because of what it, stood for and everything that's
Well, it's
going
kind of like a
on, and-
religious undertone, obviously like St.
Yeah.
Patrick. It seemed kind of like St. Patrick was this guy that was spreading Catholicism or Christianity or whatever around the Europe, I guess,
Yeah.
whatever. So, and then I found out that the green represents Catholic,
Mhm.
the white, can't remember what that one was. I think the Protestants,
Yeah.
and then the orange represents. Oh no, sorry, the orange represents Protestants, and then the white represents like purity or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's why everything is green. It has nothing to do with St. Patrick wearing green or
Yeah,
whatever like that.
leprechauns,
Yeah, it just
everything.
represents Catholicism, I guess. So
Yeah, she was cool with it. She's like, I'm happy to celebrate my traditions anyway.
Yeah.
So it's great.
yeah, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I guess we don't really have a holiday in the United States that could be turned into a drinking holiday because they already are. It's like
Yeah.
I wouldn't be upset if people were celebrating 4th of July in another country, but
Right.
also it's already a drinking and eating holiday.
Yeah, true.
Yes. Yeah, I guess it would be like if they started having like Martin Luther King parties in other
Yeah.
places and they were dressing up like him and just slamming, whatever. But
Yeah,
like,
especially for the day that he died, because like St. Patrick's Day is the day that St. Patrick died.
Died,
So
yeah.
we're like partying for him for all the things he did, but
Yeah.
he died. So I don't know.
I don't know where the leprechauns and like the the
Yeah.
pot of gold and all that shit comes in.
Probably the same bullshit like Easter.
Yeah.
Like where the bunnies and the eggs and all, like
Oh,
none
yeah.
of that,
That's a good point.
and the peeps. It's just like it's all the marketing and
Yeah. Well, even like Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas is supposed to be about Jesus and
Yeah.
whatever, and then it turns into this fat guy dropping presents down your chimney.
yeah,
So
you're
it's
like, ooh, some fat white guy's gonna break into my house.
yeah.
That's a side note. When I was a kid, I was concerned about that. Were you one of those kids?
What do you mean?
Like some guy coming into our house, especially down our chimney. Like I was like, this seems like breaking and entering.
Oh yeah. No, I mean I don't know if I was that going there, but I thought it was weird, and I also thought because I don't know about you growing up, I didn't have a fireplace.
Oh, yeah.
in my childhood. I mean, eventually, when I got older and we moved, we did.
Yeah.
But I'm like, where is he coming down? We got like one of those little stove top pipes up at the top of the house.
Oh yeah.
Like, is he squeezing into that? Like, where does he come out? Is he popping out the toilet? Like, how's he getting into the house?
We had like I think my parents would say they leave the front door open or something when we lived in like a townhouse that didn't have a fireplace. So they would do something like that, or we'll leave the back door open. And I think I was still concerned about that. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And then I was always thinking like, well, not everybody believes in Christianity. So
Yeah.
what is he just skipping those houses?
Yeah.
Are little Asian kids not getting it? Like, I don't know. So
I don't
yeah,
know.
I always thought it was weird, things like that. But people, I don't know why we're going off on Christmas stuff.
I don't
now,
know.
But yeah,
I was just like, by the way,
Yeah.
that was weird.
yeah. So, but yeah, I was wondering if she thought that it was weird that we celebrate, St. Patrick's Day
Yeah.
in Mexico being from the U.S.
Nope. But I think we learned, the car bomb, Irish car bomb
Yes,
situation.
yeah,
You learned that
yeah,
beforehand.
Yeah. So, so I've told the story before when I got back from our European trip with my buddies,
Mhm.
but we were in Dubrovnik, Croatia at an Irish bar. It was on my birthday, and ran into this guy. He started talking to us, and he actually went to UCF, University of Central Florida in Orlando, where I went.
Crazy.
Just random, and we're talking.
Halfway around the world.
Yeah, and so he's like, bro, I'm gonna buy you guys a shot. What do you guys want? And I was like, I don't know, man. And then I think Frank or maybe even I said it. We're like, oh, what about a Irish car bomb? And he goes, whoa.
Whoa.
You don't call it that here. And I was like, what? And he's like, just call it a car bomb.
No.
He's like, the Irish are not a fan of that name. And I was like, really? I was like, okay,
I
lesson
can see
learned.
why.
I did not understand. I mean, I didn't know that. And then we turn around and there's these two girls there, and Frank and Dom start talking to him, and like, oh hey, we're blah blah blah. We're like, we're from Ireland, and it was like, oh god, good thing we didn't. Like,
Oh,
hey,
my
you-
God.
you ladies want some Irish car bombs?
You want an Irish car bomb?
Yeah, that
Um,
is kind of that.
Do you know why it's called a car bomb?
Well, yeah, because they're during the Ireland kind of revolution thing. They were like the IRA was doing car bombs.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of, it reminds me of when I was in New Orleans and I went to that comedy show and Nikki Glazier was up and she's like, your guys' famous drink here is called a hurricane.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that destroyed your city.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. She's like, you don't go to New York and they have like flight 357 or
Oh my
something or
God.
whatever it was.
No,
It's like,
Jesus.
yeah.
They're like, why not?
Yeah. So, but yeah, so I guess you don't call it an Irish car bomb. It's just car bomb.
Yeah.
Which still is like, we know what we're talking about here. Why,
Right.
like, just call it something
But
else.
like, why Guinness? Like, why is that a car bomb? Why Guinness and
Because
the
it's
thing?
Irish.
Yeah,
So,
true.
Like
But
that's their beer,
Yeah.
and then it's Jameson, which is theirs, and then Bailey's, which is also theirs. So they're all Irish things.
like dropping it.
Yeah, yeah. It should
Dropping
be
the
like
bombs.
Irish Cannonball.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we're calling it from now
there you
on.
go, Cannonball.
And we should just say it to bars, like they should know what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
You don't know an Irish
Yeah.
Cannonball?
4 Irish Cannonballs. Like what?
Like, excuse me.
Oh shoot. But yeah, I think I ended up doing like 4 fucking car bombs.
I think you did. I
so-
thought you only did a couple. You
I did.
sneaking some?
Well, no, remember I went with that guy Mike to
Oh, yeah.
that other bar after you guys went home.
We always make new friends. That's like one of the things I love here when we have good friends that bring their good friends into the country and then we all meet. It's like you're meeting your friend's family. You know, it's so easy because you're like, I'm already friends with these people. So, of course, I'm going to like you. And we usually do.
Yeah,
so it's
true.
Like, their couple of friends were so fun.
Yeah, so yeah, so it was a great St. Patrick's Day, and actually
It was great.
for doing 4 car bombs and having a couple beers, I did not feel too bad the next day.
Right. I don't think we stayed out too late, did we? Maybe we did.
Well, I did, but I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
well,
you
not
did.
super late. Like we came home by like midnight or something, but I
That's
think
right.
you guys left at like 10:30, 11.
Yeah, I would think I was home by 10:30, which is
but-
great.
All right. Well, now we're gonna get a couple Airbnb horror stories.
Oh yeah, I got a good one.
Oh yeah. Okay, tell me.
I do. I have a story and a question.
Okay, gotcha.
Do you want one or the other? Do you want what do you want first?
Do they relate to each other?
Not really.
Okay.
Kinda. Yeah, kinda.
Give me the story first.
Okay. So we had these girls staying in one of our properties. Nice girls, whatever. Go through a couple of days, and then we get a message from our security guard letting us know that he has been noticing there's 4 girls at one of our homes, and they're going over to one of the other homes and hanging out with the boys in this house.
Oh, okay. So like set it up. There are multiple condo homes in this whole kind of complex, right?
Sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the one I'm talking about, it's like a quad of homes. So they're pretty far apart and
Yeah.
each one has their own pool. But somehow these 4 girls and 4 guys were talking to each other and then going back and forth to their house. And, you know, we tell the security guard, that's fun. You know, unless there's a problem, let us know. And he kind of said in more ways or less words than whatever that they're pretty attractive. So he was like, I'm just gonna let you know
There's some
that-
lookers.
Yeah, there's some lookers. So my boss has let me know that. Hilarious. So then, you know, everything's fine. They leave, the boys leave, our cleaning team goes in to clean both homes. What do you think they found?
Cocaine.
That would have been fine. No, that would have been normal.
Normal.
But so the cleaning team, I love it too when they're going into a house and then they start sending pictures of, we document things before next people come in and next guests come in. And then we document after those guests leave. There are some questionable photos. There were piles, not a couple, piles of used condoms on the floor. On the
Gross.
floor.
What do people do with, like, you know, like when you see them on the street or whatever, like what are people doing with condoms? They're just like fucking shooting them around,
Maybe
like
we
tying
should
them
ask
up.
boys. They're just ripping it off and like, fuck this thing. I don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So that was the first thing. And then they noticed that they have these really nice white kind of ceramic sinks. They noticed there's all these kind of thin cracks in it, like spider cracks or something
Mhm.
that are all in the sink. And they weren't there before because they're trying to clean the sink and there's, you know, cracks in it. So I don't know how they figured out, but someone was probably sitting on top of the sink once they went and looked at it, or in front of the sink, or holding the sink as stabilization, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure there was a butt in the sink, and
Yeah.
they were banging them on the sink.
Probably, yeah. So
They got plenty of room in there. We'll do it in the bed.
these rooms, these houses are huge,
Right.
and they're in the bathroom on the sink. So that was fun. I mean, we reached out to both parties about the sinks to say, hey, you know what happened? There weren't these many cracks in them. There's cracks now. Both parties said, we don't know. We have no idea. It was like that when we got there. We're like, all right. So we just let that go because
Yeah, it's hard to prove.
Yeah, it's just like whatever. I'm just
You guys-
shocked they didn't say anything. Like, yeah, I was banging the neighbors
Yeah.
here.
You guys need like one of those like LiDAR scanners that will like you put it in the middle of the room and it scans the whole place.
Yeah.
You know, and it takes about like 360 photo.
Like your 360
Yeah,
camera.
kinda
We
like
could do
that.
that. Woo. But
Yeah.
who's going to think to look at the sink? The only people that would know that is the cleaning team. Or if that was your sink, you would notice like, hey, there's something looks a little weird here. So
I love that you thought cocaine was not weird, but like condoms were.
Our-
Like girls and guys having sex on spring break. Oh my God.
I just thought it was funny because
Yeah.
the security guy's like, they're going to their house. Now they're over at their house. He's giving us
Like eating
updates.
popcorn.
He probably sees the best stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Juan could have his own podcast.
Yeah, or YouTube channel.
Yeah, I always tell him like send videos, send pictures, whatever is happening, just send it my way because we love to see it. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. So yeah, there was nothing was too damaged, but I thought the condoms would like come on.
Throw it in the trash.
Yeah, pick up at least before you're leaving. You did the Airbnb checks. They turned everything off, locked everything up, put the keys back, but didn't take the extra step to throw the condoms away.
Yeah.
They were just like, meh, I don't want to touch it.
Yeah, that's super weird.
Very
Gross.
weird.
But I mean, we're also talking about people that stay at places. I mean, remember when I stayed at that hotel in Las Vegas and there was like jizz on the remote control and stuff? It's like, come on, like
Gross.
grab a napkin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be a little clean for the next people. Come
Yeah.
on. I guess they just figure I paid a cleaning fee. They're going to clean it, but which we do.
Yeah.
But gross.
You can really tell how people are raised, I think, by how they leave a hotel,
Yeah.
or even just at a restaurant, like we always kind of like stack the plates and
Yeah.
like kind of make it easier for them to pick things up. People that leave shit in the middle of the floor, like, come on.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's not that much, I know you paid to not have to clean it up, but
So weird.
yeah, that's weird though. Okay, what's your question?
My Airbnb question is, so we have not a lot, but quite a few people that will request one of our homes, and they'll ask questions. Hey, what vendors do you have to rent, a bike or a scooter or this or that? But for some reason lately, we've had a few potential guests. They'll ask for a discount. Like we've talked before. Hey, can I have, I love your place. It's beautiful, but it's a little outside my budget. Can I have, a little discount, or is there any discount for this time or whatever? So we figure it out. If it's high season, we're not giving discounts. If it's, low season or in between, sure, why not? We'll give you a little discount. But then the people that are always asking for the discount ask, oh, also, do you have any private chef options where a chef can come to my house and cook for me? Bitch, you just asked for a discount, but you want a private chef? So you got champagne taste and beer budget? Like,
Yeah.
no, we don't want you here. Bye.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah, I don't know. Well, first, I've never understood the private chef on vacation thing.
Yeah.
Like you usually go, especially in Mexico, like you go to another country to eat at their local restaurants and
Right.
food and whatever. The only thing I can say is the tours that I've been doing now, they're usually kind of more well-off family, and they
Yeah.
actually do stay in Tulum, and they stay in these like fancy condo, maybe it's not even Airbnb. It's like somebody's renting someone else's condo.
Yeah.
And I always ask them like, oh, so what do you, because since they're up in the jungle a little bit, they're not in the city of Tulum. I was like,
Right.
what do you guys do? Like, is there a restaurant in your kind of condo complex? Do you guys go into the city? And they're like, oh no, we've been mainly eating in. And then I heard them later talking about, Dad, did you put our lunch order in or whatever? So I realized like, oh, they have a private chef.
That's great.
So maybe it's those wealthier people,
Yeah.
but it still doesn't make sense because your places are like $50-$60 a night sometimes, right?
Yeah,
So it's like, if you are that fancy where you need a private chef,
Mhm.
why are you staying at a budget? I mean, not budget, but
Right.
inexpensive Airbnb.
Exactly. These are $500,000 homes. The rates are, based on around us. So
Yeah.
the places that are renting around us, they're always fluctuating, but yeah, I will never understand that. It's just funny.
Yeah, that
funny
is
to me.
very, very strange. Yeah, maybe, now that I think about it, maybe we shouldn't be telling these stories. Like, hey, come on down and stay in Alexis's Airbnbs. By the way, there's people fucking in the sink where you might be staying. There's condom wrappers everywhere. There's blood in the bed.
No.
Yeah.
Just
I
know, though,
that happens literally at every hotel.
Oh,
but,
yeah,
you know.
everywhere. I can't even. All I know is that it makes me feel comfortable that I know our cleaning team, and they're fucking amazing.
Yeah.
This group of like 4 or 5 women, they make magic happen. It's I don't know.
Oh, no, they're great.
They
And
just do.
And what is the Riviera Retreats?
Riviera Retreats. Yes.
Yeah, so look that up, or you can message Alexis if you want the link. How many you have? Like 20 or something? 11?
Yeah, we have like 20 homes right now. So if you it's I guess not a website, but a website, Linktree.
Yeah, it's like ours. When you go to
Riviera Retreats.
hansonsonhiatus.com, it goes to our link tree that has all of our links and everything like that.
Right.
So similar. But if you want that link, it's Linktree, whatever that URL is / because it's weird. They do like link.tree
Yeah,
or something.
I had to
like
pull
that.
it up because I always forget. linkt.ee / Riviera Retreats. Like, that's easy.
Yeah, like don't make it easy. But yeah, if you're looking to go to Tulum and stay in a really nice fucking place that's inexpensive in the jungle,
With
but
wonderful
still
customer service.
that's true. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Message us, message Alexis on Instagram or whatever, and we can get you that link because they're a good deal and they're super nice.
They're super nice. They all have their own private pools, and it's a great location. You're right in between Centro and the beaches, so it's perfect. You can have your own quiet little vacation, or you can go easily access, the party areas. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Good stuff.
Yeah, because it's spring break and is it festival season as well? I believe, or it's kind of been
I don't
recently.
think festival season ever ends.
Yeah, true. But this weekend we're heading to Cozumel again. Some of our friends from Iowa, or my parents' friends from Iowa, have never been. We took their dog the other weekend, so their dog has been to Cozumel and they have not.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll have some stories next week about that. We have a soccer match on Saturday, but it was supposed to be on Friday.
They moved it. Why?
Yeah, but nobody ever announces that shit. Like they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna move it and not say anything and just act like it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I'm sure a lot of more stuff will be happening this weekend, so we will figure that out.
All the time. I got a paint night on Saturday night.
Oh,
I'm excited.
true.
A little sip and paint, which is right across the street. I'm so excited for that.
Oh, nice.
Very excited.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you've been enjoying the stories. If you are and you like the information, the fun stories and everything, feel free to check out our Patreon. You can be a little fucky for $1 a month. You can be a medium fucky for $5 a month, or you can be a big old fucky for $10 a month. Yep. And that is all at hansonsonhiatus.com. We also got the merch store there. You can go to buymeacoffee.com / hansonsonhiatus if you're just feeling friendly one day and you just say, I really like that story Alexis told. I'm going to grab a beer for her. So you can go there, buymeacoffee.com / hansonsonhiatus, get some virtual beers.
And we'll happily drink them for you.
That's right. And like, follow, share, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, YouTube Music, at Hansons on Hiatus. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.